I'm Anna Saxton. I am a student here at the University of Mount Union. I am currently majoring in mathematics, and my minor is in adolescent to young adult education, which is why I'm here today to talk to you about pay-to-play participation. So today we'll be talking about what pay-to-play is, what a school levy is, which kind of goes hand in hand with pay-to-play. We'll talk about why schools instill pay-to-play, some activities that are involved in the program, factors that consider the cost of what you're paying, an example from an actual school district, and some pros and cons of pay-to-play. So first, what is pay-to-play? As defined by Dr. Amy Ayler, who is the Assistant Dean of Public Health at the Washington University, defines pay-to-play as a way for school systems to get money without having to pass a levy. So we'll talk about what a levy is later, but it will differ by school district. So one school district will not be paying as much as another school district, and we'll talk about the factors that go along with that. And it can range anywhere from $20 to $950. So what a school levy is, as defined by Ording School District in Washington, is a local property tax collected to help finance educational programs. So it's voted on by the citizens that are living in that school district area, and it can also be instilled in private schools, but it's most commonly used in public schools. So there was a recent tax levy at Boardman Local Schools District where it was determining 9 employees and their jobs. So it actually ended up passing 51% to 49%, and if it did not pass, 9 teachers were going to lose their jobs, and the art program would have been cut, and their local orchestra would have not been funded, so they would have had to get rid of that as well. So with the passing rate of the school levy, they were able to maintain those teachers' careers and keep those programs running. So why do we have pay-to-play? So for many years, school systems have been pushing for more involvement in sports and in clubs. So with more participation causes a higher demand for funding and money. So due to the economy, your state will only make budget cuts for different counties, and they differ all across the board. And since schools are required to prioritize their income from the state, they cannot go funding extracurricular activities when those teaching positions are going unfilled. So one solution is pay-to-play. So there are many activities that are considered in the pay-to-play program, and it really just depends on the school district. The one school district, Boardman Local Schools, they just require anyone who plays a sport, but for other schools it will differ. Sometimes bands and orchestras and choir, they may need to pay to be in that extracurricular, but for some of the activities, there's baseball, basketball, football, tennis, basically any sport, and then on top of that, cheerleading, orchestra, band, and choir. So some of the factors of pay-to-play, so this is what determines the cost of how much you will pay to participate, and this is stated by Timothy Saxton, who is the superintendent of Boardman Local Schools. So it will be by the school district, the number of activities that you're participating in, your level of education, will you be in high school or in junior high school, and the number of siblings in that district that are participating as well. So we have one example, which is Boardman Local Schools again, and this is stated by Mr. Timothy Saxton, who is the superintendent. So it is $52 per athlete per sport. The max that one athlete will pay is $104, which is you pay for 2 sports, and if you play a 3rd sport, then that's free. And then the max the family would cost is $208. So that's if you have multiple siblings. And that is just at the high school level. So at the junior high school level, which is 7th and 8th grade, it's basically cut in half. So for one athlete, it's $26 per athlete per sport. And then the max that one individual would pay is $52, which is playing 2 sports and playing the 3rd one for free. And then the max that you and your siblings would have to pay is $104. So some cons of pay-to-play would be Since it's so pricey, it can be pricey depending on your school district, it might prevent some low-income students from participating. And also, a parent may argue that their kid is paying to play and a coach may not give them as much playing time as they want, so a parent may argue that it's a waste of their money. But some pros of paying to play is that levies are very difficult to pass. They do have a 50% passing rate across the state of Ohio, which again, my source is Mr. Timothy Saxton from the superintendent of Boardman Local Schools. So having this pay-to-play program, it guarantees the sufficient funds that teams are going to need. For instance, AP level students, they have to pay for their exam at the end of the year. So one may argue, why should it be any different for student athletes? And it also keeps many extracurriculars up to date and running. So the pay-to-play money can go directly to uniforms and the program to really help the individual athlete out. So overall, my stance of pay-to-play is I am for it. I think it's a great program. I think it instills that every child is getting the most of their money without having to worry about a failing levy. As for the cons that we kind of talked about earlier, preventing some low-income students from playing, one opportunity we can use is to fundraise. So if a coach knows that a child is very interested in playing for them and they don't have the money to do so, the coach can very well have a bake sale or just raise sufficient funds to get that individual student to play. And then as for a kid that does not get playing time but their parents are paying for them to play, a lot of teammates actually, they get a better experience just by being on the team rather than being on the court or on the field. So it's really the rewarding experience that you're getting from being on that team. So thank you for coming to my presentation. If you have any questions, you can